The film begins with archive footage of a police investigation of the murder of 5 young friends in rural Travis County, Texas. We see police uncovering the bodies and taking them away for further investigations. The narrator states that over 1,300 pieces of evidence were collected from the crime scene at the Hewitt residence, but none was more compelling than the classified police footage of the crime scene walkthrough. We see 2 officers survey the house and descend into the basement, noting the fingernail scratch marks, human blood, and hair embedded into the walls. The events of that day were to lead to one of the most bizarre crimes in the annals of American history, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It is August 1973, where 5 young adults, Erin Hardesty, her boyfriend Kemper, and their friends Morgan, Andy, and Pepper, are on their way to a Lynyrd Skynyrd concert in Dallas after coming back from a vacation in Mexico. They just met Pepper the day before, but she and Andy are already going at it. They drive through rural Travis County, Texas, as they talk and have fun. Erin is not happy with their trip to Mexico, since she saw Kemper and the others just get drunk the whole weekend instead of him proposing to her. Kemper says he will and offers her marijuana, but Erin throws it outside. Morgan accidentally says they have 2 pounds more, and Erin gets even angrier when she learns that the reason they went to Mexico is that Kemper and the others could buy marijuana. Kemper promises her that they did not go to Mexico to buy marijuana. As they kiss, Kemper nearly hits a distraught girl walking on the dirt road. Erin and Pepper rush to her to check if she is fine, and the girl says she just needs to get away. Erin offers her help, and they get her into their van and start to drive, looking for a hospital. They try to speak to her, but the girl says they're all dead. They ask her who is dead, but the girl doesn't answer, but cries as she is in shock. They pass by a slaughterhouse factory, and the girl says they are going the wrong way and tries to stop Kemper, nearly making them crash. The friends sit her back down, and Kemper stops the van. The girl cries as she tells them she won't go back. They try to understand what she is saying, but the girl speaks incoherently about a bad man before she takes out a revolver hidden in her dress. She tells the group that they are all going to die before she puts the revolver in her mouth and shoots herself. The friends scream and cry in shock as the girl collapses dead inside their van. They get out of the van, shocked by what just took place. They decide to go contact the police, and Kemper first throws out a piñata that is full of marijuana. He tells Erin the reason he bought the drugs is to sell them and earn some money so they could have a future, but Erin is not having it. The friends then get back to their van and start to drive. They stop at an old gas station, hoping to contact the police. Erin and Pepper go looking for a restroom while the boys go into the store. There, they are met by the store's proprietor, an elderly woman named Luda May. They explain to her the situation, and she starts to call the sheriff. Erin and Pepper find that the restroom is locked, and Erin uses the skills she learned in juvie to pick the lock open. But the restroom is very dirty, and they get back. Inside the store, Morgan and Andy see rotting pig meat that is for sale inside a display. After speaking to the sheriff, Luda tells them that the sheriff will meet them at the old Crawford Mill. The friends complain, asking why the sheriff won't come to them, and say they are not driving around with a dead girl in the back of their van. Luda tells them that it will take more than 2 hours for the sheriff to get to them, and says what they do next is their business. Having no choice, the group drives over to the mill. When they arrive, the sheriff is nowhere to be seen. Morgan says they should leave her and get going, but Erin disagrees. Both Andy and Kemper agree with Morgan, but Erin says that the girl has parents somewhere who are going to want her back instead of being dumped on the side of the road like trash. As they sit and think about their next move, they see a figure moving in the dark inside the mill. They go in to investigate and find a little boy named Jedediah. They see Jedediah living there by himself. They ask him where the sheriff is, and he tells them that he is home getting drunk. They ask him where the home is, and Jedediah tells them that the road doesn't go there, but it is a short walk. Erin and Kemper go through the woods to find his house, leaving the other 3 at the mill with the boy. They come to a large plantation house and knock on the front door, asking for the sheriff. A man named Monty Hewitt answers, who is an amputee with both of his legs gone. They ask him for the sheriff, and he tells them that he is not home, but offers the phone in the house so they can call him. He only allows Erin inside while he orders Kemper to stay outside. Erin calls the sheriff's office while Monty goes to the other room. Meanwhile, Sheriff Hoyt, a strange-looking policeman, arrives at the mill. He observes the crime scene as he makes weird jokes about the dead girl. He then takes the girl's revolver for himself before he starts wrapping her body in cellophane with the help of Andy, who grossly holds up her body. Back at the Hewitt's residence, Erin is told that the sheriff will arrive in 30 minutes. Before she gets back to Kemper, the semi-sinister old man shouts for help from the other room. Erin goes to help and see him out of his wheelchair and asks for her help to get back on it. Erin tries to help him, and he uses the opportunity to fondle her without her noticing. After waiting for a while, Kemper goes inside to look for Aaron. He looks around the house where there are live pigs and chickens roaming around. He finds one dark room, with the TV still on. As he investigates, he is suddenly killed with a sledgehammer to the back of the head by Thomas Hewitt, aka Leatherface, who drags his dead body through a large steel door to the basement. Aaron hears the commotion and goes out looking for Kemper. She finds the steel door leading to the basement and tries to look through the peephole, but she can't see anything. She asks Monty where Kemper is, and he tells her he is not in the house. Aaron then goes outside looking for him. Meanwhile, Sheriff Hoyt finishes wrapping up the dead girl's body and orders Andy and Morgan to put her in his trunk before he drives away. Aaron arrives at the mill, and her friends tell her that the sheriff has already taken the body, and she finds that Kemper is still missing. They then hear a car honking nearby and go to investigate. They find numerous abandoned cars there, and Morgan finds a jar inside one of the car's trunks. Inside the jar, they see the picture of the dead girl along with her entire family. Andy also finds a severed human tooth there, and Morgan says they need to leave, but Aaron says she is not going to leave without Kemper. Andy decides to help her look for Kemper while Pepper and Morgan stay by the van. Meanwhile, at the Hewitt's house, Leatherface is preparing Kemper's body inside the basement, where there are also other people's severed heads, fingers, and other body parts. He hangs his body upside down, and something falls out of his pocket. Leatherface checks it and finds a ring, which Kemper had planned to propose to Aaron. Andy and Aaron go back to Hewitt's house, where Aaron distracts Monty while Andy gets inside and searches for Kemper. He looks around the dirty house, and unbeknownst to him, Leatherface is watching. Andy accidentally knocks an object, and Aaron rushes to him. Monty realizes they tricked him and blocks their way. He starts to bang on the floor, saying, "Bring it on." Suddenly, the steel door behind them opens, and Leatherface attacks them with his chainsaw. Andy holds off Leatherface and tells Aaron to run. Aaron escapes and heads towards the woods while Leatherface chases Andy through the backyard. Andy tries his best to escape, but Leatherface cuts off his leg with the chainsaw. Andy screams in pain as Leatherface picks him up and takes him back to the house. He takes him down into the basement, and Andy tries to claw onto the wall, only to break his fingernails. Aaron makes it back to the abandoned mill and tries to escape in the van with Morgan and Pepper, but Sheriff Hoyt shows up. Aaron explains to him what happened and asks him for help, but the sheriff finds marijuana in the car and orders them to get out of the vehicle. Meanwhile, back at the Hewitt's house, Andy is sitting in the basement when Leatherface comes in and picks him up. He hangs him on a meat hook with his feet hanging over a piano. Leatherface then gets some salt and rubs it on Andy's stump of a leg before wrapping it in butcher paper and tying it with human hair. At the Crawford mill, the sheriff makes the friends lie on the ground face first. Aaron tries to tell him about Leatherface, but the sheriff says that Kemper is the one who killed the girl, and then he runs off. Aaron again tries to explain to him, but the sheriff fires a warning shot at her. He then takes Morgan in the van and sits him down where the girl was sitting when she shot herself. He hands him her revolver, ordering him to reenact how exactly she killed herself. The sheriff then forces him to hold the gun in his mouth and orders him to pull the trigger. Morgan, scared and disturbed by the sheriff's demeanor, points the gun at him. Aaron tells him not to shoot, as he will be killing a sheriff. Morgan pulls the trigger and attempts to shoot the sheriff, only to find the gun is unloaded. Sheriff Hoyt points his gun at Morgan and threatens to kill him. He blames him for the death of the girl and puts him in handcuffs. He tells Aaron and Pepper to stay as he takes the van's key and drives Morgan away. Meanwhile, at the Hewitt's house, Leatherface has flayed Kemper's entire face and sewn it so it can be like a mask. Leatherface takes off the human skin he was wearing to reveal his disfigured face before he wears Kemper's face. Sheriff Hoyt starts driving Morgan back to the Hewitt's house. He calls someone on the radio and tells him to get Aaron and Pepper at the mill. During the drive, Sheriff Hoyt continues to taunt Morgan over his well-being and for no reason, smashes a liquor bottle in Morgan's face, knocking a few of his front teeth out. Hoyt pulls out his own set of front false teeth, saying they have something in common now. Hoyt gets to the Hewitt's house and drags Morgan out of his squad car. He beats him up a couple of times before taking him into the house and to the basement. At the Crawford mill, Aaron and Pepper are in the van. Aaron hotwires the ignition and manages to start the car. They celebrate and start to drive away, but the car's tire comes off before they even drive out of the mill. Suddenly, Leatherface appears and starts to attack them with his chainsaw. The girls sit in the van screaming in terror as Leatherface gets in the car and starts to cut through the roof. He grabs Aaron through the roof as Pepper runs out of the van. Leatherface then goes after her as she desperately tries to get away, but he kills her by cutting her in half with his chainsaw. He turns to Aaron, who is still in the van, and she sees him wearing Kemper's face. Aaron gets out of the van and runs into the woods as Leatherface chases her with his large chainsaw, buzzing. Aaron runs until she comes across a trailer. She bangs on the door screaming for help, and the woman lets her inside. There, Erin finds two women who offer her tea and try to soothe her. Erin asks to use their phone, but they tell her they don't have one. The two women, a morbidly obese middle-aged woman known only as the Tea Lady, and a younger woman named Henrietta, who is presumably her daughter, act strangely as if nothing is happening, even after Erin tells them about Leatherface. They say Leatherface is a poor sweet boy who is diagnosed with skin disease. They tell her that he always keeps things to himself and does not bother people. Henrietta tries to make her finish the tea, but Erin pushes it off and tells her she doesn't want any tea. A little baby starts to cry, and Henrietta goes to tend to it. Erin finds a picture there, the same picture they found earlier with the girl who committed suicide, along with her child and family. Erin then starts to feel weird, and she hears a telephone in the trailer ring. She goes to see Henrietta, picks it up, and tells someone on the other end that she's here. Erin also discovers that the baby they have with them is the same child in a photograph. Erin tries to leave, but the tea is drugged, and she ends up passing out. Erin wakes up at the Hewitt house surrounded by the entire crazed and murderous Hewitt family. Thomas Leatherface Hewitt, his mother Luda May, Sheriff Hoyt, who is actually Leatherface's cousin Charlie Hewitt, Monty, Leatherface's uncle, and the little boy Jedediah, Luda May's grandson. Luda prevents Jedediah from coming into the house as a punishment since he helped the group. Erin begs them to let her go, but Luda May tells Erin that her excuse for her son Thomas's actions was that her son was tormented by teenagers during his upbringing while working in the closed-down slaughterhouse, and that she felt no one cared for her family besides themselves. Jedediah begs them not to hurt Erin, but they ignore him. Leatherface then comes and takes the terrified Erin to the basement and locks her in. There, she finds the barely alive Andy, still hanging on the meat hook. She tries to help him get off the meat hook, but no matter how hard she tries, she can't get him off. Andy, realizing that he is going to die anyway, begs her to mercy kill him. Erin didn't want to do it, but Andy tells her to grab a knife there and begs her to do it. Having no choice, Erin remorsefully stabs and kills Andy. Erin suffers severe emotional trauma as she screams and cries over what she has done and apologizes to Andy. Erin then finds the wounded Morgan there, sitting in a bathtub while still in handcuffs. She helps him up and tries to escape, but Leatherface sees them through a hole in the roof and gets into the basement holding his chainsaw. Thankfully, Jedediah comes in and leads them to another exit. He takes them to a way out, and Erin asks him to come with them, but Jedediah says he will be fine and distracts Leatherface long enough for them to escape. Erin and Morgan run through the woods and find an abandoned house. They barricade themselves inside as Leatherface tries to catch them. Erin and Morgan hide in a separate place as Leatherface breaks into the house. He starts to look for them as they quietly hide. Leatherface then appears to leave, but he suddenly breaks in through the back and catches Erin. He pins her to the ground and prepares to kill her, but Morgan comes out of his hiding place and attacks Leatherface, causing him to drop his chainsaw. Morgan grabs Leatherface and wrestles him, but Leatherface is too heavy and easily lifts Morgan upwards onto a chandelier before releasing him, and Morgan gets tangled in the chandelier by his handcuffs. Leatherface picks up his chainsaw and slices up into Morgan's groin, killing him. Erin runs out of the shack and escapes through the woods. Leatherface continues to pursue her as he buzzes his chainsaw. Erin goes in through a fence, and as Leatherface does the same, he trips and accidentally cuts his leg with the chainsaw. Erin gets to the road and sees one car passing by. She flags it down and asks for help, but the car takes off without helping her. Having no choice, Erin continues running through the woods and gets to a slaughterhouse factory. She runs inside as Leatherface chases her. Erin hides inside the meat freezer. Leatherface comes in and starts to look around as Erin hides in terror. Leatherface starts to separate the meats and finds Erin. He tries to kill her, but Erin kicks him and runs out of the freezer room. She then grabs a meat cleaver and hides inside a locker. Leatherface starts to look for her, and Erin shouts and calls him. He starts to open the lockers across from hers one by one. When he opens one of the lockers, which he thought was Erin's, he finds pigs inside. Erin comes up from behind and attacks him by surprise with the meat cleaver and chops off his right arm. Leatherface falls onto the ground, screaming in pain as Erin runs out of the factory as it begins to rain. She gets to the road and flags down a truck. This time, the driver helps Erin and gets her in the truck. When she realizes that he is driving to the old gas station, Erin freaks out and tries to stop him, saying he is going the wrong way. The truck driver thinks she is crazy and stops at the old gas station anyway, and goes to get help as Erin goes out of the truck too. She peeks in through the window and sees Sheriff Hoyt and Luda, along with Henrietta and the kidnapped baby. The truck driver calls them for help, and they all go outside, leaving the baby alone inside. Hoyt takes out his gun and goes to the truck as Henrietta gets back inside and finds the baby gone. Sheriff Hoyt goes to the truck, holding his gun as Aaron tries to hotwire the ignition. He opens the truck, but Aaron is not there. Suddenly, Aaron runs him over with his own car, dropping him on the ground. She then puts the car in reverse and drives it on him, before she again runs him over, killing him. Aaron started to drive away, with the kidnapped baby now by her side. Leatherface then suddenly appears on the road and slashes the car with his chainsaw, but Aaron and the baby escape unharmed. The police archive footage continues to play. The officers inspect the basement, noting the hanging meat hooks, when suddenly they are viciously attacked by Leatherface and killed, and the case remains open.